Hello. In this video, we are going to finish the chest feature where when the player opens up the chest, that makes it so you can go through the door. So kind of on the flip side, we want to prevent the player from getting to the next level unless they've opened up the chest. So we think through the code that we currently have, and I just noticed some empty space here, so I'm going to um, clear this up a little bit. Right now we have it when the player collides with the door, then we'd go on to the next level, or maybe you would win. So right now that's what my code is saying is that, oh, you collided with the door? Okay, well, go to the next level. Now we're saying we don't always want to do that. Sometimes you want to go to the next level, sometimes you want to win the game, and sometimes you want nothing to happen. So that's an if statement. So if we mix an if statement into here, then we can control whether this stuff happens or not. So it's actually all of this stuff we would either want to turn on or turn off. So I'm going to make a new if statement up here. So say if 3 greater than 2, open up some curly braces. But it's all of this stuff here. That's what should be controlled, whether it should or should not happen. So I'm going to select from the if level num all the way to the closing curly brace on that else. Just drag that in here. Okay. And I think I'll just click edit tidy code up to um, yeah, I just wonder. I'm going to do that again. I just wonder if it's going to change the line numbers. It definitely did. Wanted to do the tidy code part, but I am going to fix up the tabs just to make it look better. If tab that over, curly brace tab over, else tabbed over, tab, tab that over. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. Right, so what I want to say here is if I have unlocked the chest. If statements usually involve some kind of a variable. I don't have a variable that tells me whether I have or have not opened the chest yet. So I need to make that variable. Now there's a few different ways we could go about doing that. We could just make a straight up variable. Or we could make it a property of player. I think just making it a straight up variable makes a lot of sense. So up here, I said like HP equals 2. Then I'd want to say I'm going to call it has key. A has key is just going to tell me true or false. Do you have the key or not? I'm going to say let has key equals false. So when the level starts up, no, you don't have the key. But once you do, then it works. So here's how it looks with the door then. If as key, I might say, instead of greater than 2, I might say equals true. So if it's the case that has key is true, like the player actually has found it, then you can do the whole going through the door stuff. And then if not, well, just nothing should happen. So see where this if statement ends here. I don't really need an else because I just don't want anything to happen at all. So now it should be the case, at least, that I can't go through the door. I'm probably going to run into the chest on the way, but just ignore that, or I fall off the world. Right, but notice how I'm not moving on to the next level. So at least I've got that aspect of it there. And that's because has key is constantly false. So somehow it needs to eventually become true. Why would that happen? Well, because the players collided with the chest. So I go into player on collide with chest. Yeah, c.play open. And then another line says has key equals true. Update that variable. to say that it's true so you can go on to the next level. All right, it's going to be a little hard for me to test the opposite, but now that I've opened the chest, then I'm able to go on to that level. And all I have to do on the level 2 is just add a chest in there. Because all of this stuff is still true. It's going to have a tag of chest. The variable has key is actually going to reset back to false, because when the game scene opens, that's what happens. That has key is false. HP also resets back to 2. That might be a little weird. Maybe that's something to adjust. But has key does return back to false. So then that whole process just starts all over. All right, one little note with this if statement here. This is perfectly fine. I want to know whether has key is true or false. If statements are just true or false anyway, so I don't actually need to say that because has true is either true or false, so I can just throw it in there. In the event that it's true, then the if statement's true, and then in the event that it's false, well, the if statement's false. So I don't actually need to say that, and it almost becomes a little more readable if has key, then is level num. So that has the unlocked door all set up.